All right. No, are you ready to hit an agenda check?
Oh my God.
We haven't done one of these in a while. We're bringing these back this year. That was one of our off-season resolutions. It was our most popular segment as we got more into the live content last year. I kind of the old format with stuff like that kind of went by the wayside, but we're bringing back agenda check.
I demanded
bringing
in my
back
contract.
agenda check. And I think a lot of our listeners and viewers wanted it to make a comeback as well. So we're bringing it back. I only have one. I meant to think of multiple, but I didn't. So I only have one. Maybe I'll come up with another one. But yeah, exactly. During the season, I'll have a couple, 2 or 3 of these, but I only got one. Did you want to go first or should I go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. I'm just trying to picture what I want to do here. Okay. Jesus Ferreira, MVP caliber season. This is my agenda.
Okay.
I think we're
starting off hot.
I think this year, listen, I said it last year that he was going to be insane. It didn't hit. I almost got a tattoo. Shit, maybe I'll make another tattoo bet this year. That will happen at some point. But I just think he looked so good. He was due. He should have had like 4 more goals had Georgie Manungu not been offside every time, just randomly like deciding to be offside.
And a lot more assists, I would argue, as well.
Exactly. And so I think he is going to cook this year. I think he's going to have a best 11 performance, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him. I think he is truly, this might be the season where he shines so hard that he may get a European transfer.
I am fully on board with that agenda. I know there's mixed feelings about how the Jesus Ferreira trade went among the fan base. There really shouldn't be. He had a fantastic season last year. And if you're denying that based on stat sheet production, I would just like really encourage you to not think that. Because all right, here's the thing. Like we were really excited about the trade when it got made, and we were talking about how many goals he was going to score, and he didn't end up scoring a lot of goals. Like we should acknowledge that. Like the goal production was not what we hoped for or anticipated.
The first half of his season you could just throw out. Like it wasn't that great.
I don't even think it was the first half. I think it was like the first month or two was not great.
Felt like half. And then it was not great.
Yeah. No, and he did have a couple of rough games at the beginning of the season. The St. Louis one comes to mind. The San Diego one comes to mind.
Like, but also the whole team was bad in both of those games.
Exactly. Like, and I get that he was in a situation in those games where they're like, all right, we don't like the San Diego game. Remember, everyone was fucking injured.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it was like, all right, well, Jesus Ferreira's out there. He needs to carry it today. And he couldn't do that because like there was no midfielders or backline out there to my memory.
I think Danny Leyva was playing.
Yeah. And it also admittedly took him a really long time to score his first goal. We remember all that. You were making tattoo bets and stuff. But by the time it got in the swing of the season and he was more acclimated and he was a starter for this team week in, week out, he played great. And I think something that we need to acknowledge is that, yes, the goal production was down from his previous years. The playmaking production was there pretty much the whole time. Like he got, I think, 12 or 13 assists, all comps, which I think if you want to be secondary assists don't count guys, you like take 2 of those away, and he's still at double-digit assists, all comps. He ended up at 5 goals.
God, do you remember that ball he played to Rothrock? I can't remember what game it was. It was in the summer, and
Colorado.
Yeah. Oh my God! I literally saw that, and I was like, "This guy is special." Yes. This guy is special.
So yeah, that's what I was getting to is he is actually, even with the lack of goal production last year taken into account, he's a much better player than I thought he was in terms of how well-rounded he is, how unselfish he is, how hard he works, how good he is at defense, how good he is at pressing. Like he is very much, I kind of dismiss people sometimes when they say the stat sheet doesn't tell the whole story. Like he does this, and you're like, all right, well, if he's an attacking player, he should be on the stat sheet. He's a player where I look at it and I'm like, the stat sheet does not, it wouldn't tell the whole story, even if the stat sheet production was better. Like he He does everything for this team. I don't understand like how you can watch him play and not appreciate that. They benefited. How many goddamn goals did he create last year through high pressing? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So many. You guys want to know why they scored so many goals last year off of giveaways in the attacking third, where they got the ball in a really dangerous spot and then were immediately able to score in transition? That was so many of their goals last year. You want to know why they were able to do that? Because Jesus Ferreira and Paul Rothrock ran and pressed their goddamn asses off for this team every single game, every single week, and created those opportunities through their work rate and commitment to defense. So I fully agree that he's going to take another step forward as far as stat sheet production. Because the other thing about this is that I would strongly argue, and you can call it cope.
Yeah.
I would strongly argue, and you touched on it, but like the lack of goal production and the general underwhelming stat sheet production, I really think that was a lot to do with bad luck.
Yeah.
Like you said, he had 3 or 4 goals that he scored where it ended up getting disallowed for offside, where he wasn't even the one who was offside.
It was like
this is what you got to like take into account. If he's the one offside and he's out of position and he scores, then it's like, okay, he
like,
did something. He did something wrong on that play. That's never going to count. These are situations where he is doing the right thing. He is onside. He's making the correct run. He's getting into the correct position. He is finishing the goal, and it's getting disallowed because Georgie or someone else is 0.2 inches offside on VAR.
Yeah.
That was frustrating, and they lost out on a lot of goals off that last year. That is also the type of thing that tends to even out.
Yep.
If you have a season like he had last year where you're having a lot of goals get disallowed under those kinds of circumstances, what usually happens is the next year you end up getting some goals that maybe you shouldn't have otherwise. Or so if he just plays exactly how he did last year, I think the goal production is going to be higher. And then he's also a phenomenal playmaker. I mean, that pass that you,
oh my God,
that pass in Colorado that you mentioned, like the through balls that he can play are excellent. But he's just so adaptable, man. Like it was interesting to watch him last year kind of get the feel for the team and how to play with everyone. And you could kind of see it. Like at the beginning, he didn't really know how he fit in everything, and it was kind of a work in progress. But then as the season went on and they played more and more games, you could see him be almost in real time be like, okay, this is how I fit in playing with Christian and Albert and all these guys. This is how I can be effective in the wide channel. And his soccer IQ is just so high that he was able to kind of play a different role for this team than he ever played at FC Dallas. And by the end of the year, he was this demonic, high pressing dog winger that was helping the team just so much. So
I think it's also some people are bringing up the fact that he's the 3rd highest paid player on the team and he was signed to be a striker. And I'm sorry, guys, not to sound like Craig Weibel here, but you don't sign soccer players with the idea that they're just going to simply be this thing. I think truly they saw Jesus Ferreira as the dynamic and flexible player that he truly is. Like, he hadn't really been playing the 9 at FC Dallas. Like, he was playing like a false 9, like a 10
hybrid. Yeah,
like he was already playing a more playmaking role.
He rarely, if ever, to my memory, played in the wide channel for them. Like, maybe sometimes, but that was not like a regular thing.
No, and so okay, like I don't like people are like, well, you signed him for this, and okay, well, guess what? He's still even if that was what happened, the deal that he is on, he is a designated player on any other MLS roster, maybe not Inter Miami, every other MLS roster.
Everyone who's operating within the rules.
Everyone who follows the roster rules. He is a DP. He is a DP winger on top of your DP 10, your DP 9, and your other DP winger who never plays because he's always injured. Which brings me to my next agenda. The Seattle Sounders will sell Pedro de la Vega in 2026. They will sell him in the summer window. They will get anything they can for him, and they will open up a DP spot. That is my take. I not only think that they will do it, I think they must do it. I don't care
All right,
how
I think
good
I disagree
he is.
with this. So
I
that's
don't
good.
care how good he is. He is. This is my hill. Okay. I love Pedro de la Vega. I think he's a phenomenal player when he is on the field, and he just has not been able to be on the field. And I don't know what it is, but I think that it's time to let the ship sail. Yes, maybe you lose out on him, but it's time to let the ship sail. Open up a DP spot and see what you can get. See what you can get. See who you can sign. See who you can bring in. I think that's what has to happen. I think it's what has to happen to truly make this roster the contender that they want to be.
I understand where you're coming from with that, and I understand the frustration with how last season ended, like when he got injured and he was unable to play in the playoffs, and that was really a sour ending to the year for him. Where I can understand why it elicits that sentiment. I also think that like he actually played a lot of games last year. Like the idea that he was consistently unavailable to the point that it hurt the team. It did in the playoffs. It did in the playoffs for sure. But like that wasn't the case consistently throughout the year. And in fact, I would argue he's the biggest reason they were able to win Leagues Cup, and they probably don't win Leagues Cup without him. He was the MVP of that tournament. So like him busting his knee playing in the New York Mets outfield on the last day of the season and then not being able to play in the playoffs. For me, I don't think that doesn't undo like the great season that he had leading up to that. And then also for me, it's more so just like, man, the talent level is off the charts, and there is not a player with the game-breaking ability that he has on the roster that I trust to be able to replicate the stuff he can do. I can think of multiple games last year that seem like they should be easily winnable matchups for the Sounders, but in MLS, these games are sometimes not. Like there was the San Jose game at home, and then there was the Atlanta game on the road. He scored goals in both of those games that I'm not sure anyone else on the team is scoring. And you need players like that to be able to take results in games like that in MLS. Like he has that special ability to be like, all right, it's 0-0 in the 80 whatever minute on the road in a difficult environment against a good team. Who's going to step up? Who's going to be the guy who makes the play that wins the game? He showed last year to me that he is that guy in a way that I'm not sure they have that without him. So
well, of course they won't have it without him because he would be off the roster, but you supplement that with any other player in the entire world who wants to come to the Seattle Sounders on a designated player deal.
But you don't know that they're going to be as good as him in there, that they're going to be that.
Well, they'll probably play more than him.
Let's see how many games he actually played last year.
Here's my problem is like he can have an incredible tournament, which he did, but dude, like he has been consistently injured since he got here.
That's not true. He played a lot last year. He played a lot.
It's not completely his fault, but it's dude.
Oh my God.
He's look at this. Finally, the stats machine. When he doesn't have stats to back up this argument.
Because your internet doesn't work.
My internet's working great. We're streaming right now. But I think, it's just, dude, it's at the point where like he's injured so much. Give him an opportunity to go somewhere else. Maybe it's Seattle. Maybe it's the turf. Maybe it's whatever. I don't know. But like
he got hurt in the Yankees outfield.
Yeah, let him not play in the Yankees outfield anymore. I don't know what it is. You could get an interleague cash for this guy. I'm telling you right now. I think he's a great player, but man, I think it's time. Here's my problem too, is even when he is healthy, Brian is hesitant to play him because he thinks he's made of glass. You need players that Brian wants to play. Like he was getting these substitute appearances. Brother, he's a designated player. He should be playing. He should be starting and playing every single match. Like it was already a burden to not have Jordan Morris playing. all season. And then it was like Pedro de la Vega was on and off, you know? So I don't know.
He played 26 matches last year.
Out of what, 50?
16 MLS games.
16 MLS games?
No, sorry. It's a 26 league games.
Yeah, how many were starts?
Six Leagues Cup games, two Club World Cup games, not against PSG, and 3 CONCACAF Champions Cup games. He
didn't start a lot of those games.
The narrative of his availability, I think, got
that's fair though. That's not more than half the games. So he did not start more than half of the games.
He was hurt a little bit at the beginning of the year, was healthy for all the way up until decision day. I'm just saying, like, if he missed as much time as Jordan Morris did last year, I think that I would feel more the same way. But like,
he's 25.
He was pretty much after the start of the season. He was pretty much fully available.
How much did he miss last season before that?
Well, famously, his first year on the team, he barely played at all.
Yeah, and then the year after that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it.
This was year 3, right?
I get it. I think it is tough too, though, because the injury prone thing for me, I crash out about that when it's like muscle, soft tissue stuff that it's like remember when Jordan kept pulling his hamstring over and over, or when guys like hamstring FC, we talk about that a lot, or like pulled groin, stuff like that, where it keeps reoccurring. That's where I slap the injury prone label. The last injury in question we're talking about here is a busted kneecap in the Yankees outfield.
But I think
that could happen theoretically to anybody.
I mean, sure, but it's also like his ramp up when he got here. By every report that I heard, he was just unathletic. Like he couldn't cut it. He couldn't cut it with the speed and the pace of MLS. So he missed a ton of that time because his ramp up just wasn't there. They weren't able to get him up to the speed of play. And then he got injured, and then he comes back, and then he gets injured, and then he comes back. He didn't play half the games last season. He played none of the games in the first season, and I don't think he played half of the games in the second season. He is a designated player. It's less about, if you are refusing to fucking pay Obed Vargas more than a U22 contract, but you will pay Pedro de la No Play a DP contract, make that make sense. Obed Vargas missed half a season because he literally exploded his back. He's played every single game, started every single game. Christian Roldan, double Pedro de la Vega's age, plays every single game, half his salary.
Double his age. Christian is 46.
Christian is 47. And also with Christian, he was literally playing on a hamstring injury like all season. He just played through that shit. So I'm sorry. I respect Pedro de la Vega. I respect his skill set. You saw how much I came around on his quality last year. I think it's undeniable, his quality, but I just don't think it's right for a league in which you need, and you have said this, and this is where I'm taking this from, your designated players have to play, and they have to play well. Otherwise, you're wasting your very, very small resource slot. And that's the truth. I think the Sounders have to move on.
All right. I mean, that's a hot agenda. That's hotter than the one I had. I mean, like, I think a lot of people feel that way, and I get it. But I'm also like, I think back to watching him play last year in Leagues Cup, like,
and I
scoring
remember
a goddamn
playing.
Puskas nominee. But like, okay,
he was robbed of that, by the way.
Take the Leagues Cup out of it. Like my worry, my concern with moving off him categorically like that is that I think there are these games last year that they pretty much won because of him, and I don't know if you take those same results if you don't have him, like, in those situations. Like, I think that's fair. I would be worried about that, man. Like that San Jose game, I do not think they win that last year without Pedro de la Vega.
I think that's fair.
The Atlanta game, like, he's in those moments where they needed but he scored a goal that got them a result on the road, like on a long road trip. Like, no one else scored it. He was the one who stepped up and scored it. Osaze got his first goal in that game. But the point is,
Moose played more minutes.
They probably lose that game.
Moose played more minutes. Moose had more goals and played more minutes than Pedro de la Vega on 1/8 the salary. someone brought
so
this
you're
up.
pro Moose now.
I think arguably
now we recognize the value of Moose when it's to disparage De La Vega. Now we cite Moose as good value. Okay, I see how it is.
No, I've always said Moose was good value.
You disparage Moose, it's fine.
I disparage Moose, but he's on good value.
I like Moose.
You know, I think the last thing I wanted to say here, this was brought up by the fact checkers, my fact checkers inside my computer. Pedro de la Vega went 90 one time. Pedro de la Vega played 90 minutes one time last season.
It's a concern. I'm not going to try and say it's not a concern.
And hear me when I say this.
And Schmetz wouldn't. Yeah,
Schmetz wouldn't play him. I agree. And that might be a Schmetzer problem.
He stopped doing that though.
Then he got hurt.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault, but he did, whatever. Anyway, if Albert Rusnak played the same amount of minutes as Pedro de la Vega, we would all be calling for Albert Rusnak to be off the roster because he's an older guy. And
I mean, a lot of people are calling for that.
No, I understand that, but I think we both would be like, I don't know if this guy's worth it, right? I think we have to I understand it's the upside trick. The upside to Pedro de la Vega is like infinite. It's like this tantalizing thing that it's like, if we just keep trying. If he was on a U22 deal, it made sense. If he was on a TAM deal, it would make sense. He is taking up a designated player roster spot where you can theoretically, I'm not saying the Sounders have the money to do it, theoretically sign any person in the entire fucking world. You get 3 of them, and you're utilizing one of them on a kid who goes 90 one time.
It's a fair concern. I just, I guess where I come down on this is I can't quit him. I want one more try. Just one more.
Give me one more
just
chance,
one more hit.
Please.
Just one more. Give it one more run. If he gets injured again, then I'll accept
one more hit of De La Vega. I
just
love
give
that.
me one. Get him back from this dislocated knee.
Give me one more chance,
The dislocated knee freak injury could happen to anybody. Doesn't necessarily mean he's injury prone. Most talented player in the team. One of the most talented players in the league. Give me one. Try it one more time. If he's ripping up his hamstring or blows his knee out again, then you move him on for absolutely nothing because he'll be injured and no one will buy him. But one more time. I think if
you're hearing this, just give me one more chance.
One more chance. I think it's just not hard to it's just not easy to find players as good as him.
It's not.
Like his talent level is like that.
It's like it is such a catch-22 with this player. Like they have gotten themselves in such a sticky situation, but I think there is a clear-headed way to do this, which is you move him on, you accept that maybe you take a loss, whatever, you cash for him in MLS, out of MLS, whatever, who cares? But like, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to realize that sometimes things just don't work out, and that's okay. It's not the player's fault. It's not the team's fault. It just is.
Well, and I do think
I don't think this, and I want to be clear, I don't think this is Pedro de la Vega's fault or lack of ambition or lack of this is the most ambitious signing that the Sounders have made in the last 10 years.
Ambitious, yeah, it was ambitious.
And so see what happens when you're ambitious. When you're
ambitious and you drop $8 million, and now you got Noah talking about selling him after he blew out his knee in the Yankees outfield. Mets outfield. Sorry, got the outfield
Jordan
wrong.
Morris Mets Photoshop was all-time live stream.